6.
Oh no, I did it backwards.
What'd you do backwards?
Oh no. The stream is up there and you're down here. Which means I can't see the chat very easily.
Oh no!
I'm gonna move
Can't just
them.
flip it or.
I'm gonna move it. Hold on. There's the Hollow Knight. Enjoy him for a hot second if you're watching the stream.
I think we all enjoy a good Hollow Knight from time to time.
Who doesn't?
Not anybody I want to be friends with, I'll tell you that.
Ronnie Barrier?
Does he not like Hollow Knight?
He didn't finish Hollow Knight. I know he did say that.
You know what? That's okay.
That's different.
It's
a hard game.
It's tough. It's difficult and long. Two things that
it is way longer than anyone told me.
Yeah.
I fixed it.
You fixed it?
I fixed it.
So we're about ready to do the thing.
We're gravy, baby. We're already live. It's fine.
We're ready for me to do the it's. Okay, here we go. It's episode 238 of The Platformers, a show about games and nerd culture, and I am your mother freaking host, Brian Barnett. What's going on?
I'm Joshua Mobley.
I'm Chris Shriver.
We just had a nice emotional pick-me-up before we started the cameras. My daughter came down and opened the door and was like, "Hello, everyone." That's not what her voice sounds like, but
No,
it does in my mind now.
That was a nice little pick-me-up. We got some stuff to talk about this week. A little grab bag, actually, because we're kind of in between.
grab bag.
We're kind of in between some bigger things, so it's gonna be kind of more of a chill episode, I think.
Right.
At least that's my estimation. It could totally go off the rails any second.
I have a very chill game to talk about, so
yeah,
fits.
Yeah, I've just been playing two games. One that Josh and I have already talked a great deal about, Vampire Survivors, since a patch just came out that actually added in the final boss.
Oh.
I haven't done that yet.
So I'm working my way towards that. I got within, I think, 2 minutes of beating stage 4, and then died because I accidentally ran past a boss enemy that looked like a regular enemy, and I just instantly died, and that really sucks because I was incredibly powerful and like was definitely going to make it to the end if not for that, and then that's like 28 minutes wasted. Not entirely wasted, wasted because like in the, recent runs, like I've actually gone through and been like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go check out this question mark. Oh, I found out that there's a character over here that I can free from the coffin, and now I have like a bunch more. Since I started playing, I think I'd played for like 13, 14, 15 hours or something like that. And then like stepped away from it and then came back to it after the patch. So like in the past like day or two, I've added like another couple of hours. I think I've doubled my playable characters that I have access to. Like I've gotten new weapons, I've gotten new like upgrade things that I now have access to that can have been added to the pool and can now drop, and I'm having a really good time with it.
Great game.
When you had your Steam Deck for that hot minute, did you put that on there?
I still have it because people refuse to pay once they win the auctions on eBay. It sucks. Yeah. But I think I put it on there, but I don't think I actually ever played it on there.
Oh man.
I imagine it's just amazing.
It's amazing. And like what they need to do is put it on Switch because it would do so well there.
It would.
It's just
and it's so cheap too.
That's what I mean. Like it's just such a good small form. Like it's meant for.
And it's on Xbox and PlayStation now, right?
Is it?
It's at least on Xbox, I think.
It's on Xbox. I know that. It's on Game Pass.
I know it's on Game Pass for PC.
You guys check on this, and I'm gonna look and see if it's on.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Vampire Survivors is a game that's only $3, and you should play it. It's on Android,
60 hours in it.
Android, Mac OS, Linux, and Windows.
I love that I said I will look it up, so you guys keep talking, and then at At least Chris also looked it up.
I was going to let it go because I was like, I don't know if he realizes what he just said. Because you were like, I'm going to look it up, but you guys look it up, but you keep talking.
Oh, did I also say that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. Sorry. What I meant to say was keep talking because you're in the middle of making a point. I will look it up while you're talking.
Yes. Vampire Survivors is one of those games that, like, there aren't a ton of games out there that I can say, like, with full confidence that when I play them, I feel, not that I feel bad about myself, but I feel
I feel a little bad about myself.
I feel like I should be doing more with my time. Like
that was one of the games that recently got me to like stop looking at my phone and stuff as much. Not that it's on my phone, just because I'm like, there's a litany of other things I could be doing at this moment. Like
there's a
there's
whole
all these
world out there, and here I am.
There's a whole world out there. Like I could be finishing this table I'm building, or I could like read a book.
Yep.
You know, instead I'm sitting here looking at a million projectiles, and I'm not really doing much. But
see, to me, that's why it fits perfectly in the there's a show on or a movie on that I've already seen, and I'm also doing this.
You know what's
like
funny?
It fits perfectly in that zone for me.
I've been not to get too off topic, but we've been watching Yu Yu Hakusho, which is a show I've never seen. We've been watching the dub of it.
Really? Oh,
I've also never seen it.
I haven't seen it since I was a wee lad.
Jess grew up with it. It's like one of her favorite shows ever. But we've been watching the subs, and I hate, like, I love watching the subs of anime, but I hate that I can't be doing something else because, man, like playing Vampire Survivors during that would just be like,
so good.
De resistance. Like, it would be so good.
See, that's what we've been doing because Audrey was watching this show on, I think it's on Netflix. It's a Kristen Bell vehicle. It's called The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window. Which is a show which, like, I didn't plan on talking about this, but
Reese Witherspoon in that, or she directed it or something.
I don't know about that, but Kristen Bell is the main actor. And she's good in it. The problem is this show doesn't know what it wants to be. Actually, I don't have any more thoughts about Vampire Survivors. I'm liking it. I actually looked up some like advice on like, hey, these things synergize well together, and I've kind of been figuring out. And they're like, these like, try this build with like one of these three characters. And I was like, I only have access to one of those characters, so let me see if I can like unlock them. And then I was like, I've never really gone over to those question marks, and I've just kind of been exploring the space. I've unlocked hyper on all of them except the 4th level, and then I think I need to beat the 4th level, and then the 5th level will show up with the final boss, and then I might quit. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I like having this as like just a kind of turn my brain off, have dumb fun while I'm doing something else sort of a thing. But that's what I have to say about Vampire Survivors. But the Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window is a show that is billed as a kind of not satire, but like a parody of like those sorts of like Cozy Murders or
like Disturbia with Shia LaBeouf.
I don't know. They're like
which is a ripoff of Rear Window.
Well, yeah, and this is also inspired by Rear Window. It's like Rear Window and a couple of other things. But there's also like a series of books, like The Girl in the Window, The Woman Across the Street. Like there's stuff like that are like a series of books where it's like, oh, this character is like a lot of plot points from these different books kind of showed up in this show. But it's kind of billed as a parody or a black comedy or like not satire, but like that, you get what I'm saying? Like it's billed as this, but it's got some issues. The problem is sometimes it feels like it's like almost up to the line of like, okay, this is parody, but it plays enough stuff straight that like you don't really, it doesn't feel like it's supposed to be parody. It feels like this is just a pretty basic boilerplate, like mystery with a bunch of twists and turns and stuff like that. So I had fun with it, but I definitely, it made me feel and think things that I've not felt or thought while watching something in a long time. So a lot of times I listen to like, I think some relatively higher level critiques of like video games and movies and things like this. And one thing that gets thrown around a lot is kind of authorial intent. Like, I'm playing this and this game is trying to do or say this, but it kind of misses the landing. And I've not really experienced or been able to put my finger on stuff that I've consumed that's been that I could say that about until this. This is the first thing that like screams at me like, I'm saying I'm this, I'm trying to be this, but I'm not actually really what I think I am. And it doesn't mean that it's not fun. I had fun with it. I had fun watching it. But it definitely at times is like trying to, it thinks it's funnier than it is. You know, it thinks it's more outlandish than it is. And some things are like really ridiculous. Like something will happen. Like the main character will go outside and it'll start raining, and she's not hydrophobic, because that's a fear of water, but she's like specifically afraid of rain. And so like she'll just go outside and it'll start raining, and then she'll just be like, and she'll like fall down on the ground, and that's it. And she just like passes out or something. And it's like, this is ridiculous, but the show doesn't really play it ridiculous. Like there's like sinister music going on. So it's like, it's not really.
It's like, oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
I've
it's like
fallen and I can't get up.
kind
oh my God,
of.
that ad.
There's a lot of stuff like that in this show. I think it's definitely interesting, particularly if you're like into like murder mysteries, but like some stuff is just like totally, it's ridiculous, but it doesn't come off as this is a parody of the genre. It comes across as like, this is surreal. Why is this happening this way?
Right.
Like there's a handyman, there's a repairman who's there like day after day after day after day after day. He's been there for like 4 days, and the thing he's doing is fixing the mailbox. And he's just like putting the door on the mailbox, but he's been doing it for like 5 days. And it's like, why is this guy still doing this? This is a job that would take like 30 minutes tops. And this guy's been here forever. And it's stuff like that. That's just like played straight. Yeah. And it's like, that could be something that's played for parody. Like, I just don't know how it goes on. But it's like, it's not played like that. So it's just very strange. It's a very strange thing. And the crazy thing is that it's also, I think, it's executive produced by Kristen Bell and Will Ferrell. 2 people who really know what funny things are. And this show doesn't have almost any of the funny things in it.
Yeah, but Will Ferrell over the last, I don't know, really since Strangers with Candy, Stranger Than Fiction, has started to toe into more dramatic roles.
Sure. Stranger Than Fiction, a movie I actually really like.
Yeah.
And it's also my favorite, what's her face?
The author.
I don't know. What is her face?
No, I mean, it's one of my favorite movies of hers also. Maggie Gyllenhaal. It's my favorite Maggie Gyllenhaal movie, actually. She's great in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody in that movie is great. Dustin Hoffman's great. The author is great. The author's assistant is great. Queen Latifah. I forget who... It's not Maggie Smith. I forget who the author is in Stranger Than Fiction. She's great too, though. The scene where Will Ferrell's character walks into her apartment or office or whatever, and she like takes a step back and gasps, is like legitimately one of the best like reaction shots I've ever seen. It's so good. Anyway, that's all I got to say about the woman in the house across the street from the girl in the window.
Right on.
But yeah.
Now I'm Googling what happened to Queen Latifah, because other than being in a couple
I feel like she got so big that she's just been like producing or something.
Yeah,
probably.
I feel like she just doesn't do anything really now. You know, it was
Some people are just like that.
A great Queen Latifah movie. Bringing Down the House with Steve Martin. I loved that.
I somehow knew somebody was going to bring that up because it's the only Queen Latifah movie I ever remember. I don't know why.
What the movie that I thought you were going to mention is the one where she's a cab driver.
I thought you were going to say The Holiday.
I don't know.
Which is not a good movie. Apparently, I know a lot of Queen Latifah movies.
Wait, is The Holiday the movie where Jack Black goes over and visits somebody in Britain?
Or no, I'm sorry.
Is that The Holiday?
Last Holiday. You're thinking of.
Are you thinking of the fake movie in The Office?
No. I'm thinking of the movie where it's a rom-com. There,
no,
Drew
you're
Barrymore.
Right. It's like The Holiday.
Yeah, it's like Drew Barrymore and Jack Black or something.
Yeah, Queen Latifah's in Last Holiday. Jack Black is in The Holiday.
Yeah,
it's the one
which
where
is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a good movie. I never saw it, but yeah.
Right? Isn't that same movie where they hold up the signs and it's like, oh, tell them there's carolers at the door? Isn't that movie?
No, that's Love Actually.
Yeah.
Ah, you're right.
A movie I do not like.
Love Actually, a movie that I always confuse with Definitely Maybe, which is a movie that I do like.
Isn't that the one with Jack I'm just going to keep doing this.
No, that's the one with Ryan Reynolds.
Just
Definitely
Friends.
Maybe. No, that's the one where he's like the fat guy who's then skinny in that one. And it's oh god, it's not Amber Heard. It's
Amy Smart.
Amy Smart.
I
yes.
loved that movie.
Who I always mix up with Tara Strong because they're two very popular blonde actresses that came up at the same time, basically. Yep.
You'll always be fat to me, Chris.
Well, what'd he say?
I assume that's Audrey, Oddball Ma. You'll always be fat to me, Chris. Thanks, Audrey. So stupid.
How many more turns can we take on this movie ridiculous little diversion? But anyway, that's
not too many more.
I feel like that was a pretty good run.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good run. Yeah. What else do you guys want to talk about? I can wait a little bit before I get into the game that I actually played through and beat this week.
I want to talk about a game that isn't out yet and that I haven't played yet, but I'm very it interests me.
But okay. I am now an expert on it.
I know everything there is to know. I mainly want to talk about it because I feel like it kind of fits the vibe of really both of you and not me, but I'm fascinated by it. Mm-hmm. And that is Live Alive for the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Comes out the end of the month, same day as Xenoblade.
Oh, really?
Chronicles
I didn't
3.
know that.
Yes, sir. And the demo is out now. It is installed on my Nintendo Switch. I have not played it yet. I plan on playing it over the next few days. There are, I believe, 6 different story paths in this game. For those who are not aware, this is a JRPG developed by many of the people that went on to make some of the biggest JRPGs of all time. You know, people that were
Golden Age Squaresoft stuff.
Golden Age Squaresoft. It is a game that was only released in Japan back in 1994. I think
there's a fan translation.
There is a fan
somewhere.
Translation.
Yeah, it was never localized for the West, though.
Yeah, but it is done in the Octopath Traveler art style. It has some of the people from Chrono Trigger, Earthbound, the composer from Kingdom Hearts is there. There's just like a lot of it's like it was the game that everybody made before they made more amazing content, I guess I should say. But it's just such a rare opportunity and like a rare thing to happen where there's this game that is essentially old but brand new to an entire part of the world. And
to most of the world,
to most of the world, and to Nintendo's history, and I don't know, I don't want it to be overlooked by people. I'm just fascinated by the fact that this game.
I mean, I didn't even realize it was coming out at the end of the month.
But that's what I mean. I feel like a lot of people don't. It's not getting that much hype. I know Xeon at Nintendo Life is really pushing it. Kevin Kenson on YouTube is also pushing it.
I know some people who are playing it now.
It got some hype when it was first unveiled.
Yeah.
But just like I hadn't talked about it in so long, I kind of forgot about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I know some people who are playing it now, and there's a possibility that I'll end up playing it for guide stuff. I'm not sure about that yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is something I will tell you this, like you talked about, this comes from a period where Squaresoft was my favorite developer. There was like a long run where basically if a box said Squaresoft on it, I would buy it. Like it's like their name was gold. Like they did no wrong.
They released Secret of Mana 6 months later. I'm gonna get the timeline wrong, but it's like Secret of Mana, Final Fantasy 3 or 6, depending on what you want to call it.
6. We use the new names.
It's 6. We use the actual names.
This and then
Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger came out like 4 months after it.
And then, not that long after that, Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah.
And then some people don't like 8. 8 was my first Final Fantasy, so I'm a huge fan of it. And then 9 and then 10, which are all amazing. Like there was a run there where like basically everything they touched was gold. And this is kind of from that period. So to get something like that now, this is kind of another thing that I hope happens. Like before Dark Souls, there was Demon Souls, and before Demon Souls, there was Kingsfield. But Kingsfield isn't like readily accessible for a lot of people. So this is kind of something that like I want From to do. Like I want From to go back and like bring Kingsfield forward, because there are like a couple of those games.
Yeah.
But to have something from like effectively golden era Squaresoft like being brought forward, I will say when I saw the trailer and the reveal, I was excited, but the trailer didn't really do anything for me. I might be one of the only people for whom this 2D HD Octopath Traveler thing like doesn't really do a lot. Like I think it looks fine. Like it's a fine way to bring something forward. If that's what you have to do, like I'll take it. But I'd much rather see something that looks like Bloodstained Curse of the Moon or Final Fantasy VI, like something that's actually 2D. Because this sort of stuff, like when I see stuff like this, it just reminds me of what is it, 3D Dot Game Heroes?
Oh, I love
which
that
is
game.
like
that
which
game
is
was
like,
fun.
Yeah,
it's fun, but like I didn't like the graphics. They're weird. Come on, be real.
Yeah,
like,
that was part of its charm, right?
Having
like, it was, and the fact that you could like make your own sprites, and they
well,
had
yeah,
like
but
a little
back then
database
it was
and
different.
stuff.
Like now there's like a whole subgenre that like looks the same. I don't know. It doesn't do a lot for me. It looks okay, but it still kind of looks cheap to me. It's better than like, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which is like that 2D 2.5D. Like I prefer it over that, but I still don't think it's like it's got problems with like parsability and stuff like that like unless you make something super obvious, it's kind of hard to like work with. Like if you've played Triangle Strategy, like moving around the environment, like something will sparkle with light if you can pick it up, and if it doesn't, like there's no way for you to know. You're just running around just like clicking on shit. Like there's like stuff like that, or like moving background into foreground and stuff like that. I don't know, these might be just personal qualms, but like that sort of visual style like doesn't get me hype like it seems to get a lot of other people hype. I think the premise is really interesting of this game, but I'm not sure how it's going to like actually play out in the game. So I'm definitely very open to it, but I'm not, I don't feel like I know enough to be like hype about it. Now that you've said that there was a demo up, I went and downloaded it on my Switch, and I'll check it out later, and we can talk about that next week. But until I really go hands on with it, like I'm not really sure what to make of it, to be honest.
Yeah. I'll wait. I have some other stuff I want to work on right now, so not trying to get invested in like a whole JRPG right now.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I actually like that's actually exactly what I'm in the mood for. I played something really short and sweet this week, and I'm kind of I've been listening to a podcast called Hello from the Magic Tavern, which is awesome. I don't know if you guys have heard it. It's there's a guy from Earth who accidentally slipped through a portal to a fantasy world, and every week he gets a weak Wi-Fi signal from the Burger King where he slipped through the portal, and this wizard casts like weak electricity on his devices to keep them all charged up, and so he's like interviewing people in this fantasy world and pushing the podcast through onto Earth's internet so people can hear it. It's pretty funny. I like it a lot, and the show is all improvised, which normally improv stuff is like kind of cringe to me, but this stuff it's really good.
Have you ever heard of the podcast Episode 1?
No.
Because I wouldn't be surprised if they've crossed paths. So Episode 1, the crux of it is that every single episode is episode 1 of a failed podcast.
Oh, I think I've heard about this.
And it's all improv, and it's just like it's really, really great because they're really, really stupid. Like my favorite one was a guy who did an Uber like tries to interview the people that he drives, but like while he's doing the podcast, like an alien invasion is happening, but like he's still like trying to interview
he's still
the
playing
people.
it straight.
Yeah, it's so stupid, but it's very funny. I recommend it. It's very funny.
Yeah. But anyway, while I've been listening to Hello from the Magic Tavern, like they're talking about magic and all this sort of stuff, and I'm like, man, it's been a minute since I've played like a fantasy game, and I kind of got this like I've got like this hankering for like a fantasy RPG, something like really to sink my teeth into. And so like this is kind of hitting at the perfect time. I'm not sure whether I'm going to end up doing that or whether I'm going to go back and like play some of the like classical fantasy games that I've missed, like Planescape Torment, which I've been putting off for way too long. Or, you know, Pillars of Eternity 2 or Icewind Dale or like something like that. But I'm kind of feeling it. So this might be the one. I might like totally lose myself in this.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I did boot it up the one day on the OLED just to like see how it looked because I do that. It looks amazing because everything looks amazing on the OLED. But I'm typically not somebody that would play a JRPG. Or at least I would play it for an hour and then, you know, dip out, and it's very possible that will happen with this game. But I think I'm so interested in the fact that like they even like somebody convinced the board at Square Enix, like, no, this is something we want to do. You know, Octopath and Triangle Strategy, like they have sold pretty well. And we have this franchise that's basically dormant, just sitting on a shelf, that the majority of people just have not played. I don't know. I'm fascinated by
that and like they have that Octopath engine now, right? So it's probably easier for them to just make something like that. Like it'll still probably take like a year and a half to 2 years, but like the amount of people and stuff required when that like they have an engine and a kind of written game already, like probably makes it a little bit easier to just port over.
Yeah, the bones of it are there, right? Like,
yeah.
You're just moving it.
Yeah, so I would imagine like for them it's like, hey, we'll make a pretty good profit from this, and people who are hyped about it will get excited. We already have the engine, so that takes like a year and a half out of the development, right? So
yeah,
makes sense.
And I feel like an interesting thing is that like if I recall correctly, it was Ubisoft that said we're not interested in making anything that can't be franchised. I think it was them.
It might have been Ubisoft.
That sounds right.
But I feel like Square has actually done a really great job of just kind of going with it lately. Like, you know, they did Octopath Traveler
on stuff.
Yeah, like they did Octopath Traveler, which is a really strangely structured for like a RPG. And there's no guarantee that would have vibed with anyone. And they did it, and then they put it on a bunch of platforms. You can get it on Xbox now, which is great. And then they're like, you know what? Let's make, you know, we haven't done a strategy RPG fuck you, Brian, and fuck Final Fantasy Tactics. We're making Triangle Strategy. And then they put that out, and a lot of people really like it. And then they're like, you know what? Fuck it. We're going back into the catalog. We're bringing Live Alive back.
Yeah.
And it's like, I gotta say, I don't think. I think I'll need to wait until we see Final Fantasy 16 before I can actually say they're on like a Capcom like come up. But I feel like they're not that far behind Capcom.
I mean,
as far as like they were in a slump for a minute and then they kind of, and this is not specifically talking because like Square's been like publishing like the Crystal Dynamics Lara Croft games, which I really enjoyed.
Guardians
and like other stuff, like they've had Guardians of the Galaxy, which I haven't played yet, but I've got downloaded. But like they've been publishing things that are good, but I don't know if these are still published by somebody else or if this is like an internal dev team at Square.
So in Japan, Square is publishing it, but in the West, Nintendo is.
Okay. Is it an internal team then?
I mean,
or
it's
is
the
this
Octopath
like
team.
But are they like Square proper, or is that like another team
No,
that's
it's
like a subsidiary?
Yeah, as far as I understand.
I mean, they're going to have a lot of different teams, right?
Okay. Yeah, so if that's the case, the point that I'm kind of making is like that whole Bethesda thing that we talk about, like where like Machine Games, id, and Arcane make fucking incredible games, but like Bethesda itself, I feel like falls well behind that. And that's kind of the way that I've felt about Square for a while, but it seems like that's like maybe not the case anymore.
Depends on what franchise you're really talking about, right?
Depends on what you're
if
into.
You
if
ask,
you're into Kingdom Hearts,
if you ask people like me who are playing 14, we're like, dude, Square's killing it, But then if you ask people who are like playing all of their, some of their game ports and stuff, like they're kind of not killing it, or they are killing it in a different way.
and stuff. Yeah, they're literally murdering the way this game looks or whatever. Yeah.
I mean, I hear people like the pixel remasters, but there were some other ones.
I'm thinking of the original like Steam and mobile ports.
Oh yeah, those were not.
That were like
those were
really
not
bad
great.
looking.
Yeah, those were not great. But yeah, I mean, it depends. So But
they're kind of doing a shotgun approach right now because they've got Brave Exvius and stuff like that on mobile where like the art's amazing, but like I don't know if the game is any good.
The art is incredible, and I'm like, I'm never playing this though.
I get press releases for that, and every time I see a new character, I'm like, save that. Like they sent out a picture of like the art of Lara Croft, and it looks like what if Lara Croft was in Final Fantasy Tactics, and I'm like, fuck, this looks great. Like who is doing this art? And let me go buy everything they've ever done.
Yeah, it looks great, but I don't really want to play. I can't do the whole gacha games anymore. Like they're a whole thing.
Yeah. But anyway, that's Live Alive.
Yeah.
Live
Alive. Josh, what have you been getting up to
anyway?
This week?
Not much. I mean, I continue on my normal stuff like 14 and all that. I did start Hollow Knight, and I think I'm about to beat it, but you guys could be wrong. I could be wrong about that. I got to the Hollow Knight, and I was like, maybe I'll kill it, but maybe I won't. Like my save is like,
if you're at the Hollow Knight, that's
16 hours.
How many percentage have you done?
I think it said like 60.
This is your first time playing
like
this
on
game?
My save? Yeah, I've never played this in my life.
You have 15 hours in?
Yeah, like 16-ish hours, I think. Yeah.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much right now.
Yeah, it's funny because everybody's like, this game's hard. And I'm like, I would say 95% of the bosses I've beaten first try.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like, Souls games
just makes sense to you?
I'm terrible and impatient. Yeah, something about Hollow Knight. It just makes sense. I don't know.
That's awesome. Dude.
You should like legitimately get into the like all the DLC, like the boss rush.
We'll
content
see.
And stuff. Like if you're that good at that game, you could do things that most people just can't in that game.
Yeah, but I'm like barely beating some of these bosses, but I mean I'm beating them.
Yeah, but
so
if you're beating
whatever.
them, who cares?
So okay, Josh. So what charms are you using? Like, what sort of stuff are you?
I'm using the one that gathers all the geo for you, but I might stop because I have like 8,000 and nothing to spend it on.
Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Trust me.
Yeah. Okay.
There's some stuff you can get with that.
Yeah. I use the one where I don't get pushed back when I hit stuff. I use the one where I run fast.
That's like the hard shell or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't remember. It just made stuff a little easier.
It like increases
and then
your movement speed or something?
I use the one where you move faster.
Like sprint, whatever. I forget what it is.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And then I think I use another one where it's like when I hit stuff, I get more soul, but I don't. I'd have to look.
Do you
I don't remember.
do you use spells a lot?
Not really. I mean, I use the healing one a lot.
Well,
but,
yeah, but like the projectile one.
I did it first because it's really strong, but then when you get the nail leveled up, like it's like, who cares? Like it's just, you hit them and it does way more damage than the spell does.
Yeah.
Wait, you talking about the Shaman Stone? The more where your spells.
I mean, there's multiple. So you have the like dash down one, and then you have the you have the just projectile one.
Okay, so you have Dash Master, Josh. It lets you dash.
I have it, but I don't think I use it.
Well, there's Sprint Master is what he's using.
Yeah, there's
Sprint Master.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just move faster.
Oh, that's actually from the DLC. Interesting. Okay, so then you're also using
the whole game.
You're actually using. You're also using Soul Catcher or Soul Eater, right, to give you more soul when you hit things.
I think so, yeah.
And then Gathering Swarm to gather up the stuff. What else did you say you were using?
I honestly don't remember. I'd have to look.
I can't believe you got that far in 15 hours. That's insane.
I don't know. I don't have an explanation. I just turn it on and I'm
you're also using Steady Body as the one.
Actually,
where you don't knock back.
Yeah.
You know what? I was probably about that far at like 20. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. I just got like the last thing I did was get the King's Mark. So I can go down into wherever the hell that is or whatever. Because I had the same exact experience you did, Chris, where it was like, I need the Shade Cloak. How do I get that? You need to go here. How do I get there? You need to go get this thing from this thing. Well, where do I go? And you keep clicking through the wiki until you figure, okay, well, I don't even remember what I was doing in the first place, but I guess I'm going to the King Station now. So
you reverse click your way through the breadcrumb trail just to be like,
exactly.
I guess I'll start here.
So
yeah, I pretty much always used like the get more soul from stuff, make spells cheaper, and then like Long Nail or Mark of Pride or something like that. And then that was pretty much it until I got stuff like Unbreakable Strength. And then I started using that.
Yeah, but you don't get that for a long time.
You don't get that for a long time, but then I was using that all the time.
Yeah.
I have to look. I don't really remember.
Or I'd use what is it? Soul Eater or Soul Catcher and Grub Song. So like when I hit people, I got more soul, and then when I got hit, I also got soul.
Yeah.
And I used the Cloak of Thorns for a while, where when you get hit, it actually does damage to the people. That like straight up kills some people that hit you. And when I was getting enough soul to like heal myself regularly, I was kind of shrugging off attacks. I think the way that they do that, like where you can kind of freely heal, so you only really need to rest or go back home if you want to, like, is such a beautifully elegant solution to that RPG problem.
It's very nice.
Do you like?
But it's good.
I was gonna say, are you enjoying it though?
Yeah, I am. I'm kind of ready for it to be over, like this far in, but I know that it's not anywhere close to being ready.
I mean, it could be
over. I guess it could be.
It could be.
I tried fighting the Hollow Knight once, but it was like 1 a.m, and I was like, I'll do this later. And I was like,
by the way,
I can't. Yeah.
Mumjum in the chat asks, but have you saved all the grubs?
Not yet, but I've saved a lot of them.
Yeah.
A good amount, which I need to go check. I haven't checked on them in a while.
I will tell you, and like, I guess this is kind of a spoiler, but it's also like, it'll save you a lot of time. There is a way to get a map that will show you where all the grubs are.
Yeah.
Or I could look at the wiki, I guess, but
yeah.
And
I like it. I always like it when there's an option to be able to do stuff like that in the game.
Yeah.
I always like that.
Yeah. But I didn't originally come to talk about Hollow Knight, but got a game on Steam that I wanted to talk about. It's a fun
Nice.
little puzzle game. Have you guys heard of Dorfromantik? I think that's how you say it.
No.
Dorfromantik.
No.
So it's I don't know what language it is, but it's spelled Dorfromantik. Basically, it is like one of the chillest puzzle games you'll ever play. If you've ever played the board game Carcassonne, which involves you putting down tiles that look like fields or castles and stuff, it's basically like playing Carcassonne by yourself, with really chill music playing in the background. At first, I was like, well, how does this get difficult? Well, the idea is that you only have like 50 tiles, and they're kind of randomized, but every so often you'll get like a tile that's like called a quest tile. So it might be like a river and it has a 5 on it, and that means you need to make the river 5 tiles long. And if you do that, you are rewarded with more tiles and you have a score. So the idea is that you're trying to get the map like as big as possible before you run out of tiles. And there's like leaderboards and everything. That is the whole game. It's very chill. You do unlock new tiles and get like new stuff. And there is like actual like real strategy to it. Like you start to realize like, oh, I shouldn't have put my train track there because now I can't fucking complete this forest. I'm screwed. But yeah, I actually would highly recommend it. Funny enough, I woke up really early today before work, just because. And I was like, I'm gonna sit here and play this. And literally, while I was sitting at my computer playing, I was like almost passing out. Not because it's so boring, but because the music is so just like little like
Very
piano
relaxing.
strokes, and you hear like the sound of water and wind and like birds and stuff, and it's just a nice little piano and stuff. And I was like, I'm getting, it's like I'm too chill. Like I'm too chilled out. Like I'm gonna fall asleep here. But it is a cool little game. My one criticism of it is that it's a little expensive for what it is.
Yeah.
It's like $14,
Mm.
which for like a puzzle game where you're laying down tiles, well, not to like disparage it in any way because I really like it, just feels like a lot for a game like this. If it was like $7 or $8, I would be like, oh, go get it immediately. It's awesome.
Mm.
But maybe wait for a sale, but definitely Dorfromantik, which I believe is how you say that, is very good and very calm and chill. And I recommend it.
How did you find this game?
It was on my Steam wish list for a while. Like it has good reviews on Steam. I also
Where did you find this game? I told me about it.
I told me about it. I also I do the discovery queue on Steam every so often. And I actually add stuff to my wish list, so when I want to get a game, I will go in there and be like, what thing am I feeling like? Because there's a lot of stuff in there. And I had some money from TF2 items, so I was like, oh, I'll get a small little thing, right? Just like a game. And I saw this and I was like, I've had my eye on this for a little bit. I'll just grab it. So I grabbed it, started playing it. Very enjoyable. Yeah.
Added it to my wish list because that sounds cool.
I kind of wish there was a way for me to play it on the couch. Which I guess I could just put it on a laptop and play it.
Oh man,
but
if only there was one.
I've been setting up I've got like this little mesh kind of shelf, but the prongs on it actually fit perfectly on the sides of the armrest of my couch. So it's given me like a very solid way to like just put my laptop down on this, and then I've got like a little side table with a monitor on it that I just stretch an HDMI cable to it. So I've got kind of a really nice setup. I'll send you a picture of it because it's like perfect for just like playing stuff there, wherever. Yeah. But that's been great for doing stuff like that. The only thing is like I gotta like get like a book or a platform and stretch like a mouse over if I'm gonna do something like that. But
yeah, I had to do that a couple times in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a neat little game. I wish it was cheaper so that it could be like, Josh's budget corner again, but it's not quite. It's a little more expensive than I would personally like. But you can always wait for a sale. It'll probably be like half off the next Steam sale anyway. So grab it then, because I recommend it.
So you don't forget.
Yeah, I definitely wish listed it right now. It's been really cool being able to be like, yeah, I'm doing stuff on Steam, on PC, and then just able to wish list stuff and then just wait and just get what I'm getting to whenever I'm getting to it.
I do that a lot now. Like, I will go through my discovery queue, and the nice thing about discovery queue is you can tell it like, I don't care about this, and you'll probably never see it again, thankfully, but it'll give you some really like interesting stuff. Like it tells me about like a lot of, because it sees that I've played like a ton of free-to-play games. It gives me a lot of like free-to-play games I've never heard of to like potentially try at some point, and then it'll send me like weird puzzle games because it knows I like weird, cheap puzzle games.
It seems like you like the more you do it, the better it gets.
Yeah, like I mean, it's gonna be like that with anything, right?
Yeah, so. I mean, like the first, I want to say like the first 5 or 6 times I did it, it was like, you really want to buy Cyberpunk, don't you? Like, it just kept suggesting like the same like 6 games over and over again, and just now was the first time where I didn't get. It was like that, Hades, I kept getting like the same ones over and over.
Which, like, I mean, Hades is great.
Yeah, but I bought it on Switch.
Yeah.
They don't know that.
That's the thing. Like, I definitely had to go through the discovery queue, and they kept recommending to me stuff that I already had, and so I was just like, ignore. Don't show me this again.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because like a part of me is like, well, you know, if it goes on sale for cheap enough, like maybe I will get a version on PC just in case I ever want to play it again. Although, speaking of that, did you guys see this thing about Assassin's Creed Liberation?
It's not. I did see. So for context, this morning a story went out about Assassin's Creed Liberation HD, where Ubisoft is sunsetting a lot of the online services for a lot of their games this September. There was a story that came out that Assassin's Creed Liberation HD was going to, even if you bought it and like owned it on Steam, they were going to pull your ability to re-download the game. So like, even though you own this thing, they were just going to be like, nope, you can't have it.
They were going to basically.
Yeah, I think I did hear about those.
They were going to do the PT thing, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they came back later in the day today and said that's not the case. They're shutting down whatever online services are even tied into that single player game. But
well, it was a Vita game originally, right?
Yeah.
So it had some
weird social stuff in it.
Yeah.
Like near functionality?
Yeah, near
functionality. Yeah, I was just going to say, what was that thing near that made no sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, yeah, it especially doesn't make sense if you live in the suburbs and they only sell like 10,000 units.
Dude, yeah. I lived with my parents at the time, and there was like literally one other person in my entire city that had a Vita.
Yep.
And I saw them on Nier one time, and I was like, oh, all right, some kid somewhere has Nier just like I do. Yeah, that thing made no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they were trying to do Street Pass, right? The 3DS thing.
Dude.
That was what it was called, right? Street Pass? Or whatever?
Yeah, something like that.
They need to bring Street Pass to the Switch. I know they won't, but like, Street Pass was so hot. I love doing that. Jess and I would go to like the Zelda concerts and Kingdom Hearts and all these nerdy things. We would bring our 3DS and we'd get so many puzzle pieces. It was great.
It would be so ridiculous. Or you'd be playing like Super Mario 3D Land and you'd get like all the little like cubes that you could go into and do the little fast mini games and get just a ton of extra lives.
Yep.
It was awesome.
Yeah, conventions were good for that stuff. I remember
oh my god, you'd max out instantly.
What was the thing? Was it Picto Chat on DS? Was that what it was called? I remember being at the midnight. It's gonna be so funny. The midnight release of Revenge of the Sith.
I thought I knew
they got rid of it because people kept.
Yeah,
they got rid of it
waiting
because
in
people were
line
drawing
with my
dicks on
DS.
it.
Dude, it was always dicks. And being in line for that and opening my DS and looking, and there was like legit like 5 Picto chat rooms. It was ridiculous.
Man,
Amazing.
That was the most I've ever seen in my entire life. So most of the time it was like one person, right?
that is definitely
Yeah.
the crowd of people that would use PictoChat
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
in 2000.
Because I remember when we were walking through the line, I saw people with. I brought my DS because I was like, oh, it's gonna be a wait, right? And walking through the line, there was people playing like their Vitas and their DS. I was like, oh, I wonder if people are on PictoChat. Sure enough, there they were.
That's amazing.
Other dorks like me
That's awesome.
drawing penises.
Speaking of being a giant dork, and drawing penises, I went ahead and did something that I was like, while I was actively doing it, I was like, I don't need to do this, but I want to.
Oh boy.
I got Yuzu running on my Steam Deck
Nice.
and playing like Metroid Dread. First of all, Metroid Dread, like, what a game.
So good.
You know?
Oh, is Yuzu's this?
It's the Switch emulator.
Okay, I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
I've
I've
never used
vaguely
it,
seen
so.
that on Reddit.
No, I've heard you guys talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Metroid Dread runs like insanely well on this thing. As does Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, which like is a game that historically, you know, I have dunked on because it did not run well on launch. Mario Odyssey could probably be better because it has to like cache a bunch of shaders and there's just like a lot of shit in that game. But I'm super impressed with this thing's ability to just run Switch games out of the box.
I mean, maybe is it just brute forcing them because they're basically phone games, you know, on some level.
Kind of. I mean, I don't know how the back end emulation, you know, side of it works, but yeah, you basically load up, like, people have posted their like Switch's encryption keys online. You can load it onto Yuzu, and then you either download illegally the games that you already own, which is what you should do, and then load it onto the thing. But yeah, I mean, I was very impressed at the performance given, you know, it's just this little handheld thing. But I like went ahead and like docked it and everything, synced up an Xbox controller and was playing Metroid Dread. And like right next to it was my Switch dock, and I was like, I could just play this on Switch.
But it runs better.
It's about the same. Like,
or
at least it wasn't like, because like
it ran at 60 frames on Switch.
Yeah, like it runs, you know, it didn't run poorly on Switch either.
Well, then which input method do you like better?
That's really what it comes down
way.
to. Do you want you know, HDMI 3 or 4 on your TV? But if you're looking for like an all-in-one spot to play single-player games and you have a Steam Deck, like I definitely, you know, it's a fun thing to like mess around with, you know, in your free time for sure. Because it's like, oh my god, it works. I'm never gonna use it, but I can, and that's what matters.
I've got the power.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I actually went through and did some stuff with my Vita this week.
Hey.
Got some custom firmware rolling on it. Got some stuff going on. And I'm downloading like a bunch of cool games that I just kind of missed or I didn't get around to. I've kind of thought about in lieu of buying them on Switch if they're available, or like being rooted to the spot to play stuff on PS5. I thought about like, I own Wild Arms and I never played it. And like a bunch of other stuff like that, like PS1 classics, PSP games that I just didn't get to, like Jeanne d'Arc, that like I started ages ago and just never played. Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together, just like a bunch of like older games that are like awesome or well liked that I just didn't get around to. And so I got a cool like game cart adapter for SD cards, and then picked myself up a 256 gig SD micro SD HC card and just loaded that mother up. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one. I got me one of them. And Chris was able to help me out with that, which was great, with a few questions, but everything was pretty easy to get up and go, which is nice. And so I've just been kind of getting things up and running. I was trying to get things squared away with what is it, PKGJ or whatever, and I just have no idea where everything went. I like downloaded some games and I have no idea where they were because they did not show up as tiles on the Vita screen. But it's been pretty cool, and I'm excited for my more retro non-Nintendo Switch device to not be my 3DS, because that 3DS is not a very comfortable thing to play for me.
No.
And the D-pad on the Vita is still maybe my favorite D-pad ever.
From what I recall, even the DS wasn't really that comfortable either.
No.
But yeah.
What do you mean? Your hands aren't flat squares?
I'm not a robot.
Yeah.
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 That's what I was doing.
I have a Vita here that the screen got kind of jacked up. I ended up swapping it out, and in the process, one of the daughter boards got all jacked up, and I'm like, I could take this thing apart and I could order the part. I also have 2 other Vitas, and I could just use those.
You are a ridiculous man.
I'm not using any of them, so I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah.
I have a Steam Deck now. Not that I can emulate Vita games on this, but I'm kind of I don't know. I think it'll be a long time before a Vita emulator is fleshed out. That community's so small. Like, part of the reason Dolphin took off is because so many people were like, yeah, I want to play Melee everywhere. Like,
yeah. Which is great. And like the idea of like keeping something like that set up in the cloud, which is something that I've done, is like really awesome to be able to move between your desktop and laptop. And that kind of is like a pseudo PSN. Like, I can log into this and it's always going to save my saves in the cloud, and then I can just move freely from one place to the other. That really kind of changed my relationship with emulation, because I was just like, I didn't do this. There's no cloud saves anywhere. Like, I have to start over anytime I want to redo it. Like, it's just so much of a bummer. But
yeah, that's actually one of the biggest things that I'm struggling with right now is there isn't much that the Steam Deck doesn't do. How do I say this? Doesn't do like as well as the emulation PC in the living room. The only main difference is the Steam Deck does 720p and that one is 1080. And it's at the point where I'm kind of like, do I just get rid of that and just have the Steam Deck be? Because like, if I'm playing like Toadstool Tour or something, that save does not carry over between those 2 platforms. Like, it almost makes more sense for me to just be like, no, I have a dock in the living room and I pop a controller, onto it. I just don't know how like the Steam Deck is going to handle multiplayer. I haven't really tried that yet. And it's also like a really tough thing to do when it's like, hey, everybody come to my house so I can test this thing out. Like,
yeah.
Like, we're adults. Like, not everybody wants to do that.
Yeah.
Like, people just want to come over and it's like, yeah, I'll play Mario Tennis. That's fine. And they just want it to work. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Too many options.
I may do something like that when I like rebuild this PC, and then I'll just have like an extra PC that I don't really have anything to do with. Maybe I could just pop it behind the TV and just have it ready to go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's part of me that's like, oh man. And this is something that we talked about when I decided that I actually wasn't going to keep my Steam Deck, is like, I'm somebody for whom set it and forget it is like becoming more valuable. Like, tinker time isn't something that I'm really into anymore.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I kind of just want to do the thing.
Well, and that's just it. Like, I think with the Steam Deck, the first month or two, like, I'm really kind of out of things to mess with at this point. Like I can remote play to the PS5. I have emulators for
You're all
frickin'
caught up
everything.
as it is.
Yeah. Like there isn't a whole lot of homework for me to do, and now it's like, okay, I could just use the thing for what it's like actually meant for.
Yeah.
And the living room PC, I feel like that is in a different boat where it's like every time excuse me, every time I go to use it, there's something about it that doesn't work, and I'm getting like kind of pissed off about it. To the point where I'm like, do I throw like the Steam OS on there instead and just try that because I know that it works on the deck? Do I just get rid of it entirely and just say screw it? I don't care anymore. I don't know. Like there's no good answer, and unfortunately, like, you know, I can sit there and play GameCube with an 8-bit DOE controller, and all the button mappings are different, and like my brain can just figure it out, and like that can work, but it doesn't work for everybody. And like part of the reason I built the thing was like we can play Mario Party, any Mario Party you want, they're all on there. But if they're not playing with the GameCube controller and we're playing Mario Party 7 and you're like in a mini game where it's like press B, A, X, and all the buttons are different, like people just get pissed off, and it's happened.
Yeah.
I don't want to have, you know, 10 different types of controllers for every iteration of console.
Nobody makes a. I mean, yeah, that's fair. I was gonna ask, like, nobody makes a USB GameCube controller, but I guess it doesn't matter if that's not what you want.
Yeah, I mean, like they make that. They make and I have the Wii U one. They make like the USB adapter that you can, like, I think you can jerry rig it so like, you know, wired GameCube controllers work in it.
Right.
But it's just like a lot. I don't know. It's just a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Where it's at, like, I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm like, do I just sell all the parts for this? And like, if I want to play GameCube, I have a hacked GameCube and it has an HD mod in it, and that's it. Like, there's no questions about it. This is how it works. Because that's really the only thing I would want. It's not like I'm, you know, firing up, I don't know, Toe Jam and Earl 3 for fun.
Why not? Yeah,
Who's doing that?
There's an element of this stuff where I'm just like, man, like there is the emulation route, but like I definitely remember like when I was in college, people being like, yeah, get your original Xbox modded and just put in a hard drive and just have every game that exists for this like just on there. And I'm just like, man, there's a part of me that really thinks that would be cool, just to get like a real version of all of these consoles, but modded so that it could play like burned discs, or like have an extra hard drive in it that just has everything in it, and then just actually play on original hardware with like extra functionality kind of like modded into it. But I'm just like, I don't even know where you would go to get that sort of a thing.
Well,
I'm sure you
good
could
news is
search for it, but
there's a whole
your Dreamcast does that right out of the box.
Yes,
so
it does.
Yeah, it's not a bug, it's a feature, everybody.
Yeah, can you burn a CDR? Congratulations, you have a modded Dreamcast.
Yeah, dude. Dreamcast was like a godsend when I first started getting into retro games and stuff. It was like, you tell me I could literally just burn this thing. I went to like Ross or something and bought like a big thing of discs and was just like burning all those games. They're around here somewhere. I don't know.
That was me in the original Wii. You know, I did that for years.
Yeah.
I feel you, Brian. It's like the temptation's always there. It's like, oh man, I want to, you know, I have my NES Mini over there and it's got all these games on it. But like, how often do I play the thing? It's like, I don't think I've played the thing in like 2 years. You know,
I played Pokemon Fire Red on my Super NES Classic like in the past week or so, but it was just because Riley was like, I want to see Charizard. And so I'm like, all right, I'll show you.
I didn't know you could do
Charizard.
that.
What do you mean?
I didn't know you could put GBA games on that. I saw that.
Yeah, there was a bunch of ones. Like there was like you could put like Sega Genesis games on it and stuff.
I thought it was like just SNES. I didn't like look that deeply into it because
No.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have
you
the
can
means to do that, but
you can put
There's just-
all kinds of stuff on there.
that's cool.
I
I've
think
got-
they even
I've got
got
NES
N64 running, but they run like crap.
Yeah,
so.
I've
Don't
got
surprise me at all.
NES, Super NES, and like different Game Boy games on there. It's basically like I just went back and was like, what are all the games that I have or had?
that I would legitimately play.
No, just like
Mhm.
I just wanted to be like this. My sister actually has my Super Nintendo.
Mm.
I want to have like all the stuff that we used to play.
Yeah.
Like, let me just get all those, pop them on here, and then I've got kind of my childhood in a little box,
That's
which is cool. So I can pop on there and be like, okay, Nintendo, you don't want to put Tetris
Tetris
Attack
Attack.
on the Switch. I'll fucking do it myself.
I'll do it myself.
You build it yourself if you think you're so smart.
It's like
yeah.
one of my friends is like holding out. He's like, I want Nintendo to make a N64 mini, and I'm like, they're never gonna do
They're
that.
never gonna do it now. They've no reason.
You know
to.
why they're never going to do it?
Switch Online.
Because
Because of Switch Online.
Switch
but-
Online and most of those games do not hold up that well.
That's true. But I was like, you could just make one yourself, and he's like, but I don't want to do that. I'm like, well, then you're never getting
you're never
you're never
getting
getting what you want.
Unfortunately,
And-
like
And name 30 games or even 25 games on Nintendo 64 that you'd actually want to play.
well, that's just it. Like
Yeah.
unfortunately,
There's like 12.
and a lot of the games that are like really really good, half of them are rare and they're in
Yeah.
rare replay. Like they're
Yeah.
Microsoft property now. They're probably not good. Well, I can't say that. Banjo-Kazooie ended up on Switch Online, but
And the best stuff that Rare did, surprise, surprise, isn't for N64. It's for Super Nintendo.
all right, I'm gonna hang up the call now. Where's that? Just end.
Look me in my eyes and tell me Donkey Kong 64 is better than Donkey Kong Country.
No,
I fucking
not.
dare
no,
you.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
I defy anyone to say that
Wait,
to me.
but what else? But what else has Rare done? What else did Rare do on the Super Nintendo that is like so spectacular? compared to
Nothing. They
everything
did
on
a trilogy
N64?
of awesome Donkey Kong games, and that's it.
Okay, just checking.
What else did they do on 64?
With, not to mention
Oh, they
those
did-
games
they
have
did-
a
they did
banger
GoldenEye.
soundtrack.
GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Diddy Kong Racing, Perfect Dark, Jet Force Gemini, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Donkey Kong 64, Killer Instinct,
Okay, so
Wow, they did a lot.
Blast Corps.
wait, they did KI?
Yes.
I might have to take this back.
I was like, I can't
I might have
believe
to
you're
take this
sitting
back.
here. Right? That was on N64. I think it was.
Which
Look,
one?
Wait, no. KI was Super Nintendo.
You might be right.
I am right.
Talking about,
It's
talking
Super
about
Nintendo.
Killer Instinct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Killer
Super
Instinct
Nintendo.
is Super Nintendo, dude.
Okay.
But it
is-
looks
that
so
is-
good. It looks like it's a 64.
That is
game.
literally the only exception. Everything else
yeah.
I
So
said.
so
No,
a
Killer
couple of
Instinct 2.
those.
And Mickey Speedway. USA.
It was.
All
Girl Chill in the
bangers.
chat. Well, according to Brian, one game is enough to make a widely contentious opinion. I mean,
That
this
is Brian in a nutshell.
basically. I'm in
It's
this
like-
picture and I don't like it. But like there, so I didn't play. In fairness, I did not play a lot of those. I did not. Well,
how
I've played.
convenient.
I've
played them
actually.
all.
You know what? Hold on. I didn't play Jet Force Gemini, even though at the time I really wanted to. But I never. My parents never got me in N64. I did play Banjo-Kazooie recently. According to like during the lifetime of this show, that game is not good. So I'm not gonna play the sequel because it's probably just as bad.
The sequel is actually worse. You know what's funny? I think you would actually like the sequel.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. Because
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this, Chris. I'll give it a shot for you.
it's structured a lot
Sweet.
like Metroid. Think of a 3D platformer. Seriously. What? He has every
my
other
wife's
game
calling me
console
out in the
known to man.
chat.
And he will never let the N64 go.
Yeah, I didn't have every other video game console known to man because I never had a Sega anything.
I had a Genesis.
Yeah, I never had
That was
any
my first.
Sega.
That was my
anything.
first game console.
I'm at the
so
point
Sega
with Genesis where I like forget that it exists. Like that's how irrelevant Sega has become to me in my in my mind.
Welcome to me. I've never thought.
Like
I had friends who had like Game Gears, and I'm like, that looks really cool.
I had a
Forget
Game
that
Gear.
exists.
It lasted like
have a Game
2
Gear.
hours.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I have one. It's not.
I was jealous because it had like really vivid, bright color. And I was like, oh, that looks so cool. But then like I went home and played Pokemon, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
it's
and
right
it
with the world.
lasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
almost
Oh,
like
wow.
making that console in black and white was a.
Audrey in the chat saying
choice.
Wave Runner forever. Do you mean
Race.
Wave Race?
Wave Race 64.
Because Wave Race is awesome.
that game
I do
And
like
also,
Wave Race.
and also, I think the original Super Smash Brothers is still my favorite.
No, it's not.
That game is awesome.
No, I'm going with Melee. So,
Here's the thing though. If you play Link, he's ridiculous in the first game.
that's who I played.
There is if you really like Smash 64 that much, there is a mod that you need to look up. It is called Smash Remix, where they have put a whole bunch of other characters into Super Mario 64. That
You
game.
mean Smash Brothers 64?
I mean Smash.
What did I say?
Super Mario
Super
Bros.
Mario
Sorry,
Bros.
Smash. I was looking at I'm on Mario 64's Twitter, and he has an ad for the Mario 64 question block, which I finished building this weekend.
Nice.
But Smash Remix I know it has Conker in it. They added Wolf. Bowser's in it. Sonic. Kirby.
Hell yeah, Bowser's in it, my boy. Hell yeah.
Let me look here.
You mean my Smash 4 main Bowser from the Wii U version of the game that nobody played?
Mm-hmm.
It has Bowser, Dr. Mario, Ganondorf, Young Link, Dark Samus, Falco, Wolf, Mewtwo, Lucas, Marth, Wario, Sonic, Conker, and then it adds boss characters Metal Mario, Giga Bowser, the Mad Piano, Giant Donkey Kong, Super Sonic, and Polygon.
Yo, Giga Bowser, let's go.
Smash Remix fucks. That game's real good. And they keep adding to it.
Which version of Young Link did they add to it? Like from which game?
Ocarina, I imagine.
Yeah, like
well, I don't know.
No,
I
I
just
mean, but
really
like- I mean, but
list.
like Melee Young Link.
Yeah, but like Melee Young Link was awesome, and then he's like not very good in later games.
Yeah.
They did this thing
I don't have an
in
answer for
Smash
him.
Brothers where like
I know where
Link
you're going
was-
with this. Oh, never mind.
Link was super powerful, and then basically what they did in the subsequent games was they split Link in two, into Adult Link and Kid Link, and they made Kid Link super fast and Adult Link super powerful, and then they kind of like normalized them in the later games so that they're not actually that different,
Right.
in my opinion. And I really miss when Link, like the reason why I like the original
It's pretty neat.
Super Smash Brothers so much is because Link was really fast and really powerful.
It keeps getting
And,
more elaborate.
Yeah, that's wild. No wonder you were like, I'm building this question block, and I'm like, how long could that possibly take?
It's very
Yeah,
the attention
that
to detail on this thing is insane.
that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's so cool, dude.
And then
People who are
Volt?
listening to the podcast,
they are
I am
missing
so
out.
sorry.
They are missing out on this quality
Because
content.
Chris
Look
is
at
like
it!
opening up all the secret compartments on his question block Lego thing. This is really detailed.
And then
It's pretty cool.
There's a front compartment where it's hiding Bowser, and then you push Bowser down, and then there's a
little battle arena for Bowser and Mario.
oh, that's cool. And then you can just spin it around. There's something that comes up from the top, and there's it expands and opens up in like a trifold hat diorama. That's wild.
Pretty
Legos
neat.
are cool, and you should buy them.
Legos are cool. They're just expensive, and I don't have room.
Yeah.
Okay, so it might not be Wave Race. Audrey in the chat says whatever the jet ski game was on the Sega Dreamcast.
Oh,
I don't know what that was.
Hydro Thunder.
Was it Hydro Thunder?
it might be Hydro Thunder.
That game's also very good. That was an arcade game.
Wave Race 64 was awesome though.
Yeah.
I'm with you. We played a lot of Wave Race, and then whatever the Wave Race one on GameCube was, it was blue something.
This is a classic case of
Blue
art
Storm.
imitating life.
Blue Storm.
It's a classic case of art imitating life. Good luck being sad playing any game that has a jet ski in it. Like you like
now
if
I'm
you've
gonna
ever
find
ridden,
one. I'm gonna find one. There's got to be one.
just to defy me.
A bad
Yeah.
jet
But,
ski
like,
game.
But like,
Yeah.
have you like?
Do they have jet skis and Battletoads, or were they on like hoverboards?
They
like-
were on jet skis.
Yeah,
and
but
let
they
me tell
were
you,
like space
that level,
jet skis.
There you go.
that level was hard, but it was still pretty fun.
Yeah.
Like it was madness. The problem was
Not to me.
it just got going super fast. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. I'm smiling ear to ear just thinking about going riding on a jet ski. What a wonderful invention!
I have ridden a jet ski once. It was very fun.
We
Did it in Hawaii.
We should stop comparing things to sliced bread when we talk about things being awesome. We should be like, man, this is the best thing since the jet ski. But then nothing would ever be as good as that. So I guess maybe that's why people don't do it.
I have heard the phrase of like, money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you jet skis.
I've also heard this.
Jet
Please
skis
Google
are fun.
Sega Genesis jet ski game. I'll wait.
Oh God.
All right.
What is this? It's not. I know it's not Echo the Dolphin. Sega Genesis.
Wait, are you
Yes.
thinking Dreamcast?
List Shinobi 3 jet ski?
Sega Wave Runner GP.
Mm.
Oh wow! No, she even got the title right. Apparently, that is what it's called.
It's called Wave Runner.
It's called Wave Runner.
Yeah,
Sega
that was
Wave
an
Runner
arcade
GP.
game, right?
Nice. Well, there you go.
I feel like I've seen that in an arcade.
I also see a
Oh,
game
yeah,
called
this is-
Jet Ski Rage on the 32X.
Oh man, so much rage.
That reminds me of those old like skateboarding games that would get so into their attitude. What was it? Skate or Die, Bad and Rad? Like
Oh
those
my
old games like
God.
that?
Yeah.
God.
You remember those?
Yeah, and then there was Rebel Golf or whatever it was called. You remember that?
No,
Oh,
I don't think I
no.
ever.
Outlaw
Outlaw Golf.
Yeah.
Outlaw Golf. Yeah. It was
God,
just
that-
a bunch
that
of
and
like
now-
dudes with tattoos golfing. I don't know.
and women in bikinis.
Yeah.
So
golfing.
it was like Cruising USA, but for golf.
It was like
and probably not as good as Cruising USA.
Yeah.
Cruising USA. Even the new Cruising USA is good. That game is awesome. And every theme song.
The USA.
Well, I mean, yeah.
You know what? I'm doing it.
That was
you
a
doing?
long rabbit trail just to realize that wasn't a question, that Audrey was actually right the whole time.
That was a
Listeners,
demand.
this is the intro to Cruise and Blast on the Switch, a game that you should all play because it's a very good arcade game. Just kidding. This is an ad from Nintendo. No, wait, this is it.
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
I don't
Can
care.
listeners
They
hear
can.
that?
They can.
Okay.
If you're in this stream, you gotta. So anyway,
Now we're gonna have to plug in the audio. Now we're gonna have
I'm
to
not
plug
doing
in the
that.
audio for this in the edit.
go to the Twitch channel and find it. You'll hear it.
You'll find it. Oh, that's
or
right.
or
it
you can
is in
just
the end.
literally Google it or something.
Yeah, you can
Get
dance
that
for
much.
15 seconds with me or whatever that was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
throw it in the chat just for you boys, just so you have it,
Okay, cool.
because it's that good.
Oh, by the way, I linked that thanks you got when I saw a brief flash of the Oh, Audrey in the chat says your youngest subscriber requested that you play it again. I think Riley's in the other room watching the show. Hey
Nice.
Riley, I love
She
you.
was like, "Yo, what is that
She was
sick
like,
beat?"
"Yo, this beat slaps, Dad. We gotta play some Cruisin' Blast on the
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch."
Forget Charizard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all about them cars.
Charizard's never been on a jet ski or in a car.
Oh my god. Although Pikachu's almost been a jet ski.
Pikachu's
surf-
been on a jet ski and a
Yes.
surfboard.
A surfboard that doesn't need any power. It just goes.
Where we're going,
Well, he can
we
give
don't
it. He
need
can give it the
roads.
power.
It's magic.
He just like pushes really hard, and then he can power whatever he wants.
I was about to say, think very carefully before you continue with this, Josh.
Push really
He just
hard.
electrifies the surfboard and then is fine. And, although I guess he'd probably be fine if he electrocuted himself.
Fine.
Yeah, I guess he's got attacks where he like electrifies himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about something else. As much as I'm enjoying this, there are some other things that I do want to talk about.
Right. So we do need to wrap up soon. We're on a huge tangent.
Which, hey, I love it. This is great. I love this. So have either of you played Habroxia 2?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
I don't even know what Habroxia 1 is. So
this is Hybraxia came out on Vita and maybe a couple of the other platforms. Habroxia 2 is available on PC, and I think it's on Xbox and PS4 and stuff like that also. It might be on Switch, I'm not actually sure. But this is an old arcade-style side-scrolling shooter. It's really, really fun.
A shmup?
Well, it's not like Contra. It's like...
Contra's not a shmup.
It's like Gradius.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
That's a shmup. A shoot 'em up.
Thank you, Josh.
Yeah.
And then there's a subgenre of them from Japan where you play as cute characters, and they're called cute 'em ups.
I like that a lot. That's pretty good. Cute 'em up. Let's write this down. Make a note of this for tomorrow. I like that a lot. So I was playing Habroxia on PC on my laptop, and it's really, really good. It's a lot of fun. It's only like 4 hours, something like that. Let me see if I can see how much it costs.
It's funny that I'm gonna say this because I'm like the champion of short games, but like 4 hours for a shoot 'em up is actually pretty long.
Let me.
Any game is long if you're bad at it. Just
I
look
mean,
at Hollow
yeah.
Knight.
Oh, I have
I'm
I have
just-
7.5 hours on in the game.
Like, my dad and I built a MAME machine when I was young, and so I used to play like tons of 1942 and like Dudonpachi and stuff, and those games are literally like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
If you have enough quarters, right? So it was a nice, just like, I'm gonna blaze through Dudonpachi 2 or whatever.
You can definitely do that in this game. I don't know how long, but like I did everything in this game. Like, and there's like a bunch of like there's multiple paths that you can take. So like you can shoot through like the rocks in the side of a mission and then like find a totally different second half of the stage that has a different boss and then leads to, it's kind of like Star Fox in that way actually, where like you beat this other boss and then it opens up another path through the galaxy. And then
Star Fox.
It ends to like, it like goes to a totally different end boss, and they're all like labeled so like you'll know how far you've gone or whatever. Like there's like level 1, and then there's like level 2A, level 2B, and then there's like level 3A, 3B, 3C, or like something like that. Like no one level splits off more than once. But like by the end you can like get out and like fight like 5 mid bosses or something, and then like go back down to the end where like if you beat all, I think 5 pathway bosses, then you can like defeat the end boss of the game and stuff like that. I don't know if you can beat it without doing that, just because I just was having so much fun with it that I was just doing it. But you also get like cash as you're going through, and then in between stages or when you die, you can spend that cash to like upgrade some of your stats. So like you can be like, all right, I've unlocked a new special weapon. Let me power that up. That's going to cost like...
There was a shoot 'em up game that they like gave away on like PS Plus and Xbox Live like all the time that I played a bunch of. I can't remember, but
Was
it's the
it
same
called
idea.
Aegis Wing?
Maybe.
Oh man, that game's so good.
Let me look it up. Aegis Wing.
It was multiplayer. You could attach the ships to one another.
No, it was not this.
Damn. Oh well. That game rips.
I don't remember what it was called.
It wasn't Super Stardust, was it?
No.
Geometry Wars.
No, it was kind of like really low budget, but pretty good. I literally can't remember the name of it.
Nice. Yeah, but
Nice.
I played through this. It's fun. It's let me see, how much is it? Oh, it's $10. $10 for like 7.5 hours of like a pretty good shoot 'em up. There's like let's see, 20 unique bosses, 64 ship upgrades that are persistent. So like even like you can like grind levels if you want to, like, oh, I want to make the spread on my weapon better. I want to make the power of it, like I want to make it stronger, or I want to always have access to, like, I don't know, bombs or something. But yeah, it's been a really long time since I played like a solid arcade game like this. And having played Twin Breaker not that long ago, I was like, yeah, you know what? Like, I've heard of Habroxia too. Like, I've seen that pop up on like PlayStation sales and stuff. Let me like just look at it, and I was like, yeah, this looks pretty cool. Like, let me check this out, and I really liked it. So, I downloaded Habroxia 1 on my Vita, and I'm gonna try that out as well. So yeah, it's been really cool to like kind of ping pong back and forth between really like involved games that are long, like Elden Ring, and then like shorter indie kind of arcade stuff like this, and then like be like, I think this is the most that I've been hungry for, like a wide variety of different things in rapid succession. I feel like typically it would be like, I'm just going where the wind carries me, like from major release to major release, or stuff that I'm working on, or like I'm like in a big RPG mood. I'm just going to go from RPG to RPG. This is the first time where like I want to play like a big action game. I played Elden Ring. I want to play like an arcade game that's like really short. I want to play Habroxia 2 and then Vampire Survivors. And now I'm like, I want to play like a really involved fantasy RPG where there's like swords and sorcery and stuff. And like, I'm trying to figure out like what's going to scratch that itch. This is like the most that my like video game hungers have been specific, which is like so interesting and like very satisfying to me. It's like very fun.
Well, I think for a long time, like you, me, and I mean, Josh has been, if anything, he's just been running away from video games over the last couple months. But like, I feel like we have spent so much time being like, I have to play like the new hotness.
Yeah.
And we finally are at a point where it's like, I work a full-time job and I only have and I talk about this all the time, but like, I'm only going to play what it is I actually want to play. And like, there are so many games where I'm like, yeah, but I do actually want to play like, the new thing that's out, and I play it for like a minute.
We do want to platinum Uncharted for the 4th time.
Yeah. I mean, there was a time where I wanted to do that. But now it's kind of like, all right, if I like with the Last of Us remake, like when that comes out, I may not want to play it, and that's okay.
You've already played it so many times.
Oh my God, I played it so many times.
Which is interesting because I feel like now more than ever, I may actually play it again because like I bounced off of the PS4 remake really early. So like it's basically been since the PS3 since I played the first Last of Us.
Yeah, like that's a good time to come back to it.
Yeah.
Especially off the heels of the second one.
Yeah, but yeah, I think the difference for me, and like if Audrey is still in the chat, she knows this better than anybody. A big problem that I have just personally, and a way that I've been trying to grow as a person is like figuring out what I really want, because like there's an element of it that is like like what Chris does or what I have done in the past, where it's like we're revisiting our comfort foods. It's like, Chris will replay another Naughty Dog game for like the nth time, and I make fun, but that's just because I'm a butthole and I like poking fun at my friends for a laugh. And we do it on this show, and then we can all like kind of laugh together at our silliness. But for a long time, like I was playing like very stupid and bad games just for trophies, because I was like,
oh yeah,
I like addicted to trophies. Like, and I was playing stuff like My Name is Mayo, and it was just like taking up my time for like no reason. But that was still like a string leading me forward into whatever was next. whatever it was on Game Pass that had an easy achievement, like an easy 100% achievement list is what I would do. So I played stuff that I wasn't particularly interested in because I was chasing that next high of having an achievement pop or a trophy pop. Or like getting a platinum and then like uninstalling the game and stuff like that. And like some people can, like, if you like doing that, if that's something you enjoy, more power to you. But what it really did was it disguised what I actually wanted, which is so often like just out of reach for me. Like sometimes I'll play something and I'll be like, oh, I love this. But going into it, it won't be something that I'm hungry for. And because a lot of my introspection goes towards like trying to suss out what do I actually want. It's been super refreshing and nice to have a period where like what I want is actually bubbling to the surface. And it's like, I want a short arcade game that's really snappy and fun. And then I play Habroxia 2 and I'm like, that is exactly what I wanted. I'm glad that I knew that I wanted that and was able to go out and get something that kind of scratched that itch for me. And now like consuming this, this Hello from the Magic Tavern podcast and being like, dude, I want to play something with a wizard in it and like crazy magic and like run around and go talk to people in taverns and stuff and like talk to the barkeep and get rumors and, like whatever form that takes, whether that's me playing like Baldur's Gate 2 again or like playing another game in that genre or playing like a straight up JRPG. Like I want to find something like that. And that feeling of like being able to give voice to something that I have a hunger for is super rare for me. And it's like, I don't know, it's really, it's been nice. So
I'm laughing because I'm remembering the shitty game, allegedly not great game, I should say, that I ordered on eBay over the weekend because it's a game that escaped me when it originally came out. And it's never going to get like reprinted or like reproduced or anything like that. And that's Captain America, the First Soldier, the first Avenger on the PlayStation 3. Like, for some reason, I just
like licensed tie-in.
What a relic of a different time. Huh?
Yeah, like I was sitting. I don't even know what made me think of it, but like I think about this game like once every 6 months, and I have like since it came out, and I'm just like, fuck, like I never bought that, and like I'm never gonna be able to play it at some point because.
What do you mean? It's people probably giving that game away.
No, it's like it's this weird space where because it's licensed, because it's Marvel, like people know that there's like a demand for it, and they're also never gonna port it, like because it's just like one of those shitty tie-in games, but it's apparently like pretty good. And I was just thinking like over the weekend, I was like, man, I would love like a short third person, just like pretty.
Is it also on 360 or is it just PS3?
It is on 360, but it's not on back compat.
But I bet you could still get, like, that would probably be easier than getting it on PS3.
I already ordered it.
Or like it's probably easier to emulate.
So
because it's 360 also.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong. But like my PS3 is in this drawer right here, and my Xbox is in the attic, and I'm not about to do that. So yeah, like I randomly like I have the same feeling like I want to play a game like I did Mafia Definitive Edition last year, where it's like it's not a great game, but like I enjoyed my time with it. And like sometimes you just need like perspective.
One of those.
Yeah,
I'm having this poll recently with Dante's Inferno, a game which I actually think is really good.
That's a perfect example.
Which Dante's a lot of people said is just like crappy God of War, but it's different.
Yeah.
It is basically God of War, but it's actually really good. It's just the butt of jokes.
Because of how memeable it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and then people are like, well, it's not really like, it's not really Dante's Inferno. It's like, well, it kind of is, but it's it's Orpheus and Eurydice, but in a medieval context and stuff. I think that game's awesome, but I know exactly what you're talking about, Chris. Where you're like, I know this game is like old and sort of dumb, but like I love it.
Yeah.
I want to go play it.
So, yeah, there were a lot of those. I have been
thinking about that.
And that would make for a good discussion on another show. But like just games that like that. That like we know that they're not good. I mean, it's like almost like a guilty pleasure, but it's also
Oh
like,
no,
like Dante's
I will
Inferno.
defend Dante's Inferno. It's a good game.
Like a lot of people played that game. Like it sold pretty well.
Yeah, because it had a Super Bowl ad and everything.
Yeah.
So how would you spin that? Would that be like bad games we love?
I would
like
say
Again, I don't think Dante's Inferno is a bad.
that's
game,
just
but-
it. Like it's
Or underrated gems?
Sure.
sure.
Like I mean, what like
But it's
Chris,
gotta
like
be-
you're
But
thinking about
it's
it.
got to be from like that era. Like I would say like late Xbox
It's like
to
the
like
bargain
end
bin,
of
like stuff.
like to
late
PS3.
PS2, Xbox, early 360,
It's
I would
like
even go
double
mid
double
360.
A.
Yeah.
it's like the
like-
equivalent of like when you go to your cousin's house that you don't see that often, and he has video games, and you see what the video games are, and they're like not really like A tier. It has to be something there, right? It's like a random hockey game, some racing game you've never heard of, Dante's Inferno,
Ridge Racer
Captain
7,
America, right?
Black,
Black, yeah.
Mag.
Army of Two.
Yeah.
Oh, Army of Two is bad.
Caning Lynch.
Dude,
I'll say it's
I
bad.
had so much fun playing Army of Two. I don't care. Yeah. My
my
buddy would
cousin
bring
Matt and
over
I-
a couple of
yeah.
Red Bulls or Monsters and Army of Two, and we played Breaking Benjamin on the stereo.
Wow, you were the most like
Wow.
white dude ever.
This is when I was in college. Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, Army of Two, I'm not a fan of. I will
It's
not
big
defend
dumb
that game.
fun. It's big dumb fun.
Oh man. Yeah, we have to do this as a topic.
We
Scratch
should. We
fun
should.
off it.
Yeah.
You're right there.
Yeah, we can. We can do this. I've made a note of it in the show notes, so we
Well,
can tackle this another time.
Good thing Dante's Inferno is only like 4 hours long, so I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
What are you playing it on?
It's on because on Game Pass you get EA Play.
Oh wow.
It's just on like your Game Pass subscription.
That's wild.
So yeah.
That's
So I have it downloaded, but I haven't booted it up.
Damn. There you
But
go.
I might have to do that. I've been kind of like hankering to play something like really simple and dumb,
Shitty.
and I also just know that like again, Dante's Inferno is not shit. We'll see if I play it again. I'll be like, oh, it wasn't that good. But in my memory, I remember even playing it at the time. I rented it, and I was like, why is everybody making fun of this game? This game's dope as shit. And also, the story is like slightly more deep than people give it credit for. I don't know.
Slightly more deep. Yeah, I may be
just
dipping
slightly.
into kind of that time and that kind of vibe as well, because there's only there's 2 God of War games that I never played. I never played Ascension, and I never played the second PSP game. And I think I'm gonna play the second
There's
PSP
Ghost
game.
of Sparta and Chains
That
of
it might be
Chains of-
it might be Ghost of Sparta, because
I'm
Chains
a-
of Olympus was the first one.
Yeah.
I almost said Chains of Promethea, and I was like, wait, that is an expansion pack for Final Fantasy 11. I was like, that is not correct.
Yeah. It's whichever one has to do with his brother, which is the
Yeah.
it's the second
Yeah.
game.
I played it. The first PSP game is good. The second
Yeah.
one is like fine.
Oh, okay.
It's
Is it
fine.
like not did I actually dodge a bullet like just unintentionally?
It's not terrible because it's just more God of War. It's just the
Yeah.
story is kind of like it's fine.
So
Like
when God of War Ascension came out, it was like one of the first. It was one of the first games that like Jess had ever like watched me play, and it was just the demo. But like the demo for that game, it starts out with you. I don't know. You're doing Kratos shit. Like you're like ripping people in half, and there's like blood flying
Yeah.
everywhere and stuff like that.
she was like,
And
is this
I,
all
like,
video
Starts
game?
and you're on the the giant is like holding up the prison, and you're going from room to room like
Yeah.
tearing people in half, and then you fight the Furies.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was the part with the Furies or whatever. But like she like watched me play a little bit of it, and she was like, "I want to give this a shot." And I've never seen anybody do this since. Like it was the type of thing that I've only ever seen like in a movie where I handed her the controller, and by the time she was done, she was like shaking, and she was like, "That was too much. Like I can't believe I just did all that." Like it like deeply affected her.
That's
I can't believe I was
Wow.
that violent. I was like, I can't believe you're this way for like a quasi spin-off God of War game. You
Yeah,
know?
like nobody played really.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
that had multiplayer.
It did
Yeah.
have multiplayer.
That was one of the big things that they touted about that game.
Yeah.
And then
I
like
played the
nobody
beta
talked
for the
about it.
multiplayer, and it was fine.
Yeah. General consensus, God of War Ascension was kind of a mistake. But then they came back in a big bad way.
Yeah.
So was that before 3 or after?
Coming
3?
this
That was
fall.
after 3. It was
It
one
was
of the
after
last.
3.
It was one of the last PS3 games.
Yeah.
Anyway. Anybody else have any stuff before we sign off?
No, sir.
Nope.
Okay. This has been episode 238 of the Platformers. We thank you all for joining us. This has been a lot of fun. Watch us record each episode live at twitch.tv/platformerspod. Like so many good people did tonight in the chat. We had a very lively chat. Although we did not call out all the comments in there. It was nice to see. But we were too busy going on a bunch of wild rabbit trails as we are wont to do. Yeah. So you can check out and watch us record this live each week, where you can see Chris do stuff like open up his question mark block and all that sort of stuff.
And dance to the Cruisin' Blast song.
Indeed, and you can actually hear that music, which I'm not entirely sure how we're gonna get that on.
Nah, you'll
on the
need it. It's
thing.
fine.
But yeah, and you can also find the archives of those streams on YouTube at youtube.com/platformerspod. You can hit us up on Twitter at platformerspod, and you can follow each of us individually there. You can find me on Twitter at Ribnax, Ribnax. And if you want to check out the stuff that I'm working on, I have a guard cancel explainer for DNF Duel, which is a really fun fighting game from Arc System Works, which is the studio behind Guilty Gear and Dragon Ball FighterZ. And it is also co-developed or primarily developed with assistance from Arc System Works by Aiding, which is the people who did Marvel vs. Capcom 3. This is the game that Ronnie and I talked a lot on last week's episode about. And you can check out my guard cancel explainer on GameSpot. And I've got a tier list for the game that is going to be coming out this week on GameSpot also, which is so cool. This is the first time that I've ever been able to make a tier list for an actual site. So look forward to that. I'll tell you all the super busted characters in that game that you can play and why they're busted. In a game full of busted, incredible, broken, good characters, you can pick your own. So
busted makes me feel good.
I was gonna say the same exact thing. Oh my god, I was like just waiting.
Busted does make me feel good. But yeah, so that's where you can find me. Oh, also, if you have been looking to save some cash, the Amazon Prime Day stuff is coming up. I'm going to be covering that, so you can see my stuff about that over on IGN.com. I've also got a big breakdown posts for the Walmart and Best Buy sales that are on right now, so you can also check those out. I tweeted those out earlier, so if you want to support your boy and you've been meaning to get some stuff from there in these sales, go check them out.
Cool. You can find me on Twitter at the Jawa Josh. I don't tweet that much, but if you want to see the cool video essay stuff I'm working on, you can go to youtube.com/mediaismythic. My video titled Batman and Guns, A History is out right now.
Batman and Guns, A History.
Yep. Came out last week. I personally was a little disappointed with it, but people seem to like it. So I'm glad that people like it.
Spoken like a true artist.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like it, but other people seem to.
Other people seem to enjoy it. So,
you can find me at Shrives93. You can also find me at the Toadstool Boardroom. New episodes come out Thursday. That's it. I got nothing else going on.
Cool. Please review us on your podcast platform of choice, and if you like the show, tell friends about it. Because we don't advertise, and that's the only way we have to grow. From everybody here at the Platformers, we hope you have a wonderful week and stay safe out there, because until next time, we are out.
Take care now. Bye-bye then.